2.
My name is Devarus Craig, and I want to talk to you today about the dangers of youth football. With all the attention on the NFL and head injuries occurring in football, what about youth football and impact injuries having on young kids? There are many dangers involved in youth football, including head injuries, and parents need to take more cautious of whether their kids should play or not. And injuries in football have been a hot topic in recent years, with more and more career injuries happening in the NFL. What about youth football? Is the proper technique being taught, and is the type of medical care being provided? I have been an athlete my whole life, and I've played football for more than 5 years, and I've seen a lot of injuries occur during that time. I have also spent a considerable amount of time researching this topic. First, let's talk about how many people play football in the country, and not including the NFL. At a youth level, there are 3 million kids playing football. Tom Brady says to himself many times that he would not allow his kids to play youth football and football period because of the risk that comes with playing football. 1.1 million playing high school football and 71,000 playing in college. With the high number of children playing youth football, teaching proper tackling techniques is important as ever. According to Rick Mace, 2,800 youth leagues have signed up for the NFL Heads Up program. The Heads Up program is to teach coaches and players on the proper tackling techniques and the fundamentals of not occurring head injuries and the right way to tackle. While many people view this program as a temporary band-aid, it is teaching coaches and players on the proper way to tackle. This program teaches youth players the fundamentals of tackling. They learn where to put their head while tackling to avoid concussions. Even with these new programs, these kids are getting hurt at an alarming rate, and especially head injuries. According to Anahad O'Connor, Pop Warner Football has placed limits on contact in practice. Contact is only allowed for 2/3 of practice. This is very alarming. The youth players are more prone to head injuries because their brains are not done developing, according to the New York Times piece. In the Washington Post piece, it mentions there are 175,000 concussions related to youth sports, up to 60% the last decade. Dr. Grady feels youth players should be focusing more on skill development until their brains are developed. This would allow them to learn how to play football before they play, and would help limit injuries to occur. As you can see, there are many dangers involved in youth football, including head injuries, and parents need to make a better decision on whether or not their young kids should play or not, and should do their research on the risks that come with playing football and the things they should be prepared for. Head injuries are not to be taken lightly, especially in our youth. Their brains have not fully developed yet, so they have increased risk of causing a serious damage. The NFL Heads Up program is a start, but more needs to be done to increase awareness on head injuries and how to avoid concussions or any brain-related injuries. With so many of our youth playing football, they need to learn the fundamentals before playing, such as drills and proper ways of tackling, and putting their heads to certain positions and not causing injuries to themselves or others. Injuries are going to happen in this violent sport, but if we really take the time to develop fundamentals first, might limit them. In closing, I hope this speech has given you some things to think about, such as head injuries and your kids playing football, and the ways of the proper tackling and all the proper ways of tackling, and to prevent such injuries as brain injuries and other brain injuries. And when it comes to dangers of youth football, things should be taken more seriously and not lightly.